cut. വിളിക്കാം
ഒരു സെക്കൻഡ് അങ്ങോട്ട് വിളിക്കാമേ. വിളിക്കാം, ഞാൻ അങ്ങോട്ട് വിളിക്കാമേ. ഇപ്പൊ വിളിക്കാം, ഞാൻ വിളിക്കാം. കിട്ടുന്നില്ല.
അതല്ലേ കിട്ടുന്നില്ല, മെസ്സേജ് അയക്കണം. അവർക്ക് യൂട്യൂബ് ലിങ്ക് പോണ്ടേ. വേഗം വിട്ടോ കേട്ടോ. മറ്റേ ലോഗിൻ ചെയ്യാനുള്ള പാസ്വേഡ് ഐ ഡി വിട്ടേര്. അത് തന്നെ ഗ്രൂപ്പിലും മെയിലും അയച്ചേക്കുക. ഗ്രൂപ്പും മെയിലും നിങ്ങൾ അയച്ച മെയിലിനകത്തുള്ള അവരുടെ എല്ലാ ഐ ഡി വെച്ചിട്ട് 50 വെച്ച് അയച്ചാൽ മതി. മറ്റേ 9495. ലൈവ് യൂട്യൂബ് സ്ട്രീമിംഗ് ലൈവ് കോപ്പി പേസ്റ്റ്.
ഇത് പറയുന്നത് വെൽക്കം പറയുന്ന ടീച്ചറല്ലേ, അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ട് മെൻഷൻ ചെയ്യണം
ടീച്ചറെ. ടീച്ചറെ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് കിട്ടോ? ഗ്രൂപ്പ് അയച്ചോ? ഞാൻ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ലിങ്ക് ഇട്ടോളാം. ടീച്ചർ മറ്റേ ആദ്യം പാസ്വേഡ് ഐ ഡി അയക്കേ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാനുള്ള. അല്ല ടീച്ചറെ, മറ്റേ അന്ന് അയച്ചില്ലേ, ഇന്നലെ അയച്ചില്ലേ ഗ്രൂപ്പില്? ഐ ഡിയും പാസ്വേഡും അയച്ചില്ലേ? ലോഗിൻ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് അയച്ചില്ല? എന്നാ പിന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ തരാം. ആര് തന്നില്ല? ഞാൻ തന്നില്ല. കോപ്പി ജെൻസി. അതന്നെ ഞാൻ ഇട്ടോളാം. ജെൻസിക്ക് ഇട്ട് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ വിട്ടേക്കാം. ആരാണ്? ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ to our program. ജെൻസി ഒരു കൊച്ചിന് അയച്ചു കൊടുക്കണം. അതും കുറച്ച് പേരെയൊക്കെ ചെയ്തു കയറ്റിക്കോളും. പിന്നെ മറ്റേ ശരത്തിലാരും വന്നല്ലോ. നെറ്റില്ലായിരിക്കും. ഞാൻ അയച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ ടു ആർ പ്രോഗ്രാം. ടീച്ചറിന് വരാഞ്ഞിട്ടാ. ഞാൻ അയച്ച മെസ്സേജ് വന്നോ ടീച്ചറിന്? ഇപ്പഴല്ലേ വന്നേ? വെയിറ്റിംഗ് റൂം. ആരാണ്? സാറെന്തി? സാറിന് അയച്ചു കൊടുക്കുക ആദ്യം. നിങ്ങൾ ശ്രീസാറിന് അയച്ചു കൊടുക്കണ്ടേ? ഫോർവേഡ് ചെയ്യേ. എന്ത് അടിപൊളി ഗസ്റ്റിനെ വിളിക്കാതെ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരെ പറയുന്നത്.
We will be starting the program soon. Good morning and a hearty welcome to one and all present here. Well, We all have gathered here for the webinar hosted by the Department of Physics on the topic of Introduction to R Programming. Today, I'm honored to welcome the resource person of our webinar, Dr. Srijit V. Department of Physics, Government College for Women, Vadida. Hand over it for him.
Thank
Sir,
you.
please.
Thank you. First of all, let me thank the organizers for inviting me to such a program. I hope that everyone can see me and hear me. Is it okay? Audio, video clear?
Sir, you are audible and video is also clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, shall we start?
Okay, sir. We can start now.
Okay. Okay. I hope that you are all acquainted with. Pardon? Any problem?
No, sir. No, sir. No any issues.
Okay. I hope that everyone have some acquaintance with the R programming. As you all know, this is a very important program as far as data analysis is concerned. Because in the present era of data science and artificial intelligence, R has got very much importance. So it is worth if you have a very thorough knowledge of R. Also, I know that you have some working knowledge in R. And in today's session, what I am trying to do is just let you refresh what you have already studied. I will explain some basic concepts, some simple functions in R. So we shall go into the details. R programming, when you open it, you can see a window namely R console. This will appear like this. This is the R console. Here you can write commands and execute. But there is a problem with this window. That is, it is not at all very much user friendly. You can write, okay, but if you commit any mistake, of course, we are all human beings, so we may commit some typing errors or something like that. So what happens is when you finish a command, you cannot edit the command line. Because in that sense, it is much user friendly. So we have another window, namely the R editor. There you can simply write, if you commit any mistakes, you can delete, you can modify the command and proceed. So it is some more user friendly, some more comfortable for you. The R editor. This is the editor window. In addition to these two windows, there is another window, namely graphics window. The graphics window opens when you execute some graphics command. So there are three windows in which R is working. So let me start, and for the time being, I will show you some programs, some commands written in R console. Okay. So this is a very important thing. You please note the red letters. Something is written in red at the bottom part of the slide. the leftmost thing is known as the command prompt. And after that, there is an X we can call data object. And after that, there is a symbol. This is known as the assignment operator. Whatever you are trying to store in the data object is assigned to that data object through this operator. So this operator is some of the fundamental things in R. Okay. So whatever, if I want to assign some values to X, we can do only through this assigning operator. Sometimes we can use the equal sign, but better you use this one. This is more correct. Now, in order to input some data into a data object, there are some functions in R. Namely, the first one is the concatenate function, denoted by C and a parenthesis. This is sometimes called the combine function. Sometimes we call it combine function. Anyway, whatever it is, this is the concatenate function. And then another one, the sequence function. And along with that, we have an operator, sequence operator, denoted by the colon itself. Then the ref function, matrix function, scan function, and in addition to all these, if you have some data entered in Microsoft Excel, you can import that data you want. These are the methods in which we input some data into R. Now, let me explain these functions. This is the syntax of the concatenate function. This means if you want to enter or if you want to input the values 2, 3, 5, 6 to the data object X, you simply write this command. X is assigned C, and within brackets, you just write the values separated by commas. So by running this command, by executing this command, what happens is the set of values, whatever be the set of values written inside this. Whatever be the set of values inside coming inside this parenthesis is assigned to the data object X. This is known as, what I have said, the concatenate function. Okay. Now, so if you this does not enable us to see what has happened. This just assigns the value to 3, 5, 6 to X. But if you want to see what is X, you have to type it again. You have to type X and then click enter. And after that, you will see that these are the values of X, 2, 3, 5, 6. So whatever be the values assigned, if you want to something, if you want a printout of that, or if you want to see what has been executed there, you just type that object once again so that you can see. Now, the next one is sequence function, used when the set of values you want to input is the terms of a sequence. For example, you may have seen that in a frequency distribution, usually in a continuous frequency distribution, usually we deal with the mid values of class intervals. That may be in a sequence. For example, if the class intervals are 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, etc., the mid values will be 5, 15, 25, 35, etc. So if you want to enter these values into a data object X, we can write this command. X is assigned these values, and how this function works. The sequence function, sequence seq is the keyword, and within the parentheses we write the first term of the sequence 5, the last term of the sequence 75, and that values each terms differ by 10. So starting from 5, increase by 10, you will get 15, then again increase by 10, you will get 25, and that will go on up to till you get the value 75. So this is what happens when you use the sequence function. This is another way of data input. Now, along with this one, there is a sequence operator, which is much more convenient when we want to assign some consecutive numbers. Consecutive numbers in the sense that if you want to enter some natural numbers, some positive integers. Say, for example, from the integers from 5 to 55. If you want to enter, if you want to input the numbers 5 to 55 to a data object X, you just write this command. X is assigned the values from 5 to 55. This simply means that X first takes the value 5, then 6, then 7, etc. up to 55. So it's very simple. Just have a colon in between the first and last numbers. This will execute the command. Okay. So you will get the values of X as 5, 6, 7, etc. up to 55. And you get confused with this notation. There is a 1 here, there is a 26 here, there is a 51 here. But it says simply denotes that this is the first entry, 5 is the first entry, and this 26 says that 30, this number, is the 26th entry, and 55 is the 51st entry. So don't get confused with what is written in these square brackets. Okay. For that, the sequence operator, sequential operator, and sequence function are clear. Of course, if you have any doubts, please be free to ask me. And then comes the ref function. Just as the name indicates, it is used to enter some value, some repeated values. Say, as an example, if there is a value 4, which repeats 5 times. Suppose we want to assign the values 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3x. And it is quite natural in a frequency distribution. Sometimes most of the values will be occurring many times. So, if you want to enter this number, that is 4, 5 times, that is also very simple in R, like this command. X is assigned the value 4, and that is repeated 5 times. So the syntax is, within the parentheses, you first write the number which is to be repeated, and then write the number of times this one is to be repeated. So this 4 represents the number which is to be repeated, and 5 represents the number of times it is to be repeated. So it is as simple as that. That is the function. Now, some more complicated situation. If there are two distinct values for x, 5 and 8, and 5 repeats thrice and 8 repeats 4 times, what happens? What can you do? Simply the function will not help you. You have to make use a combination of the function and the concatenate function. I can very beautifully deal with this type of problems, with this type of situations. Like if you write this command, x is assigned, then we write a concatenate function c, and within the brackets, or as the argument of the concatenate function, first we write ref53, and then we write ref84. So this is the first argument. Ref53 is the first argument. This means that the number 5 is to be repeated 3 times. So this one is equivalent to writing 5 3 times, and this one is equivalent to writing 8 4 times. So what happens is x gets assigned the values 5 and 8 respectively 3 times and 4 times. Hope that it is clear. Then, as an example, of course, many times in a data set there are so many variables. You can enter the values of that. You can enter the values of these variables, as we have seen. You either using the combine concatenate function, regress function, or sequence function, or anything. You can enter the values of the variables or enter the values of data output. But the problem is, how can you combine these variables or these values into a single data output, or into a single data set? For example, here there are two variables. Here there are two data objects, x which represents a variable and f which represents a set of frequencies. Of course, you can enter the values of x using a c function and f using another c function. And after that, if you want to combine the values to get a single data set, you can make use of this command, data.frame command. So whatever you want to combine is written as the arguments of this function. Okay, let's see what happens. So this is what we want to do. We want to reproduce this following frequency distribution. Okay, let us see what happens. First, I assign the values to x, and then I assign the values of frequency to f, and then I use a data.frame function. And what are its arguments? X, the first argument, and f, the second argument. Of course, if there is another argument, if there is another variable, say cumulative frequency, if there is some cumulative frequency also, you can write it as the third argument. So any number of arguments you can combine into a single data set using this data.frame function. And this is the name. You don't worry when you see this name. This is just a name I given to this data set. So x and f are combined into a single data set and is given this name. And in order to reproduce that one, I just type frdist, and when you click enter, you will get this one. So the values of x are here, the values of f are here, and these are just serial numbers. Don't get confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are just serial numbers, and these are the values of the variable and the frequencies respectively. Okay, this is how we use the how we make use of the data.frame. Once again, data.frame is used to combine two or more variables into a single data set. And now the matrix function. Of course, many times you have to deal with matrices because statistics cannot avoid matrices. Every time you will study matrix. So if you want to enter this matrix, say the name of matrix is A, and there are 3 rows and 4 columns. And if you want to enter, if you want to input this matrix into the data object A, you have to use the command matrix function. A is assigned, then comes the matrix function, and as its argument, we write a concatenate function. So once you use this concatenate function, see 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 8, 9, 2, 5, 1, 7, 1. This is just the numbers. This is just these numbers 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 8, 9, 2, 5, 1, 7, 1. These numbers I have written in a row. These numbers I have written as a single row. So these numbers are entered, and after that we have to specify the dimension of the matrix. Because with these numbers you can write. You need not get the same matrix what you need, because because just we enter this numbers in a row. Now we specify the number of rows. This means that the number of rows is equal to 3, n row equal to 3, specifies the number of rows of the matrix you have to get. So these numbers will be arranged in 3 rows. So the computer knows that there are 12 numbers and these are to be arranged in 3 rows. So in a row there will be 4 numbers. So it will take, so now again there is another argument, by row equal to true. That means the first 4 numbers are to be taken as the first row, and then the second 4 numbers are to be taken as the second row, and then the last 4 numbers are to be taken as the third row. In that way, these numbers are arranged in 3 rows. So first it will take, so by this command, the computer knows that these numbers are to be arranged in 3 rows, each having 4 numbers. So once you enter that command and execute, you will get this output. This is the matrix actually what we need. Okay. These are the row numbers and these are the column numbers. And R has got a plenty of built-in functions, and many of them are much useful to us. These are some commonly used built-in functions. Length of x, which says what is the number of elements in the data of the x. Suppose using a concatenate function, you enter 3 values. The length of x will be 3. This command will return. The value 3. And min x, that means what is the minimum value of the numbers entered in x. This will give the maximum value entered in x. This will give the sum of values. This will give the cumulative sum. We do in cumulative frequency. We always deal with cumulative frequencies. So, not to find out the cumulative frequency, you can make use of the cum sum function. If you have a data object in frequencies and you write the command cum sum, you will get the cumulative frequencies. This will, of course, it is very clear. When you see this, you can understand that this will give the mean of x, this will give the median of x, and this will give the variance of x. And remember, this variance is calculated with the denominator 1 by n minus 1. You may have seen 2 types of variances we are calculating, sometimes with the denominator 1 by n and sometimes with the denominator 1 by n minus 1. And this calculates the variances 1 by n minus 1 so that we get an unbiased estimate. Then this will give the correlation between the 2 variables x and y. Called Pearson's coefficient correlation will be obtained by this command. I will show you how these all commands will work. Suppose I have a data object x with these values. So these values are stored in the data object. So if you write this command length of x, you will get 13. L is a name given for length of x. When I type L, I will get the value 13. There are 13 numbers here. And minimum of x. You can see 14 is the minimum value. Among these, 14 is the minimum value. So you will get 14. And this is the maximum. This will return the maximum value of x. And what is the maximum value? It is 29. Comes here. And then the sum of the values of x. All these numbers are added and will return the value 256. And then comes the cumulative sum. So first 15, then 15 plus 14, 29, then 15 plus 14 plus 18. That means 29 plus 18 is 47. Then 47 plus 29, 76, and it goes. So this is the advantage of cum sum function. Then the mean of x, 20.46, median of x, variance of x. Okay. So these are some important built-in functions. Is that clear? Hope that is. Then correlation function. Simply writing core xy gives the Cartesian's coefficient of correlation. And if you want Spearman's rank correlation, you must specify this one. You must specify that the method used is Spearman. As an example, we can see that x has got these values and y has got these values. And by writing r equal to core xy and simply typing r, you will get the correlation coefficient, Cartesian coefficient correlation as 0.9717255, which is a Cartesian coefficient correlation. And then, if you want to find out Spearman's rank correlation, I just write this command: core xy and method equals Spearman. This will return the value of 1. Of course, why you get the value of 1? Because you can see that these numbers have got the same rank. This is the first one. So if you arrange these numbers in the ascending order, this will be the first one, this will be the second one, this will be the third one, this will be the fourth one, this will be the fifth one. Similarly, this is the first one, second rank, this is for the third rank, fourth rank, fifth rank, so that they are the difference is 0 and you will get rho equal to 1. In the formula 1 minus 6 sigma di square by n into n square minus 1, the second term vanishes, and what happens is the rho will become 1. And now, a very interesting function, the plot function. If you have got some values for two data objects, x and y, and just write the command plot xy, what happens is a very interesting result. You will get a scatter plot. A scatter plot can be very simply obtained by this nice command. So this is a scatter plot you will get once you execute this command. Okay. So this is an xy plane. The variable x is written here, y is written here, and these are present. These points are actually the coordinates xy. That is what a scatter plot means. And now we have seen a plot. And now I would like to say something more about plots, because this is really quite interesting for the base plotting system in R works in two phases actually. The first phase is initializing a new plot. That means we call a plot function. This one, this is an example. We just call a plot function. We will get a simple plot. So this is an example of how we initialize a plot. Because this has only the minimum number of arguments. What is to be plotted? This is already explained there. What is to be plotted? We want to plot the coordinates xy. That's why we write a command like this. And the second phase of the base plotting system is annotating an existing plot. That means we are adding some points. We are modifying the plot. If you want to beautify the plot, you can add something to the plot command. Let me make it clear. I have already told you that this is a simple plot function, and if you want to modify this plot, you can add something in this plot function. After y, you can write some more things in order to modify or in order to beautify, and that is called annotating. In order to beautify or in order to modify this plot. So now suppose you have seen that this is the scatter diagram, but you just notice that this has no title here. I want to make a title. This is my first step of modification. I want a title here. What you have to do? Just write this command. Just write this as this thing as the third argument. Main equals scatter diagram. This is a string, so you have to write in quotes. This is a string, so any string you want to input, just write in string. Just write inside quotes. So this means the main title of the plot is scatter diagram. What happens? You can see we have got a title here, scatter diagram. So this is a simple example of how you can annotate a plot. You can modify the plot. We can see more examples. We can see more commands. We can see more things to annotate a plot. Nothing changes. Only what has changed here is just this title. A new title comes here, and nothing has been changed. Everything remains the same as before. And this is obtained by just typing main equals scatter diagram in that plot function. Now, suppose this exceeds the marks of some students in mathematics and y is the marks in statistics that I want to add. I want to label the x-axis as marks in mathematics, and I want to label the y-axis as marks in statistics. So we have to write. So this can be achieved by writing xlab equals. Xlab means x-axis label. Label that is to be written in the x-axis, on the x-axis. So xlab equals marks in mathematics within quotes. Of course, this is a string. And y label, y-axis label, ylab equals marks in statistics. The other things remain the same. Main equals scatter plot remains the same. What happens? You will get the same scatter diagram, but x-axis label is there. Earlier what comes here was x, and here y. Instead of x and y, here comes marks in mathematics and marks in statistics. So this is the same scatter diagram with x-axis label, y-axis label, and the main title. Okay. Now, okay, whatever be simply because if you write it, this is another way of annotating the plot. Here you just don't get perplexed. Here I have written x label ABC, y label LM just to save space, because otherwise if I write something marks in mathematics or marks in statistics, this line will go long and it will be difficult for you to see. That's why I just make the x label ABC and the y label LM, and the main title is scatter diagram itself. Now, after that, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 things, these 5 arguments we have seen earlier. And in addition to that, I have added 2 more arguments here. The fourth one is, the sixth one is PCH equal to 3, and the last one is COL equals red. This means PCH means plot character. What is to be plotted? You can plot a circle, you can plot a triangle, you can plot a plus sign, you can plot some other symbols, etc. Each plot character, that is what we mean by saying plot character. What is to be plotted? Whether it is a plain circle, whether it is a solid circle, whether it is a triangle, whether it is a plus sign, or whatever it is, you can specify it by giving by assigning some number. You can of course change this number. PCH equal to, instead of 3, you can write PCH equal 4, PCH equal 5, PCH equal to 20, PCH equal to 25, etc. You can write some numbers. Every time you change this numbers, you will get a different plot that will be not pleasing to eye. You can show that. That is why I say that I have got plenty of commands to modify the plot so that it will be very pleasing to those who see it. Okay, you can make it attractive, more attractive. So PCH equal to 3 defines a particular plot character, and color equals, here we specify the red color. You can say green, you can say blue, etc. Or you can write here magenta, you can write wheat, that will give a color of wheat. We will get that wheat color, etc. So that you can choose depending on the background color or depending on your color size. You can see what happens. So PCH equal to 3 makes the plot character this plus symbol plus sign. If I use another number, PC is equal 4, I will definitely get another type of character here, another type of symbol here. And color, earlier it was black and now it has become red, just because we have specified that color equal red in the earlier command. So here we specify color equal red and PC is equal to 3. That is why we get this type of output. Now, I want to annotate it more. I want to annotate it. I want to change the plot character. So in the last command, you just look at the last command only. Whatever written here is explained earlier. So just look at the last command only, last line only. Plot xy, x lab equal abc, y lab equals element, main equal to scatter diagram. Everything is same as before. Color is red, that is also same. But here I have changed this single thing, PCH. Instead of 3, I have written 17 here. And what happens here is that you will get another output, the same scatter plot, but with a different symbol. Instead of the earlier plus sign, you here get a red triangle. So this is what the output is by just changing the plot character number. Okay, plot character instead of 3, I have written 17 here. That will change this output. You can try PCH equal to 4, 5, 20, etc. as you like. You can experiment, you can play with R. That is how you can generate it, some interest in R. You can play with R by changing this type of simple things. And again, another thing, everything is same. Up to here, everything is same. X label, xy, x label, y label, name, PCS, color. Up to here, everything is same. And then what happens is, I have written something, AB line, app line. App line is, or AB line, you can call whatever convenient to you. It is the last argument of the plot function. App line is the last argument of the plot function. And the argument of AB line is this one, is a function, namely LM. And what is the argument of LM? Y tilde x. This means that you want to fit a linear model, you want to find the regression of the variable y on x, and that is what this means. LMY tilde x means the regression of y on x, and that regression line is called by this function. That regression line. Appline means, appline command is intended to draw a line. So appline means whatever be its argument, it is drawn there. So appline command means here is used to draw the regression line of y on x, and that is inserted in the plot. So the regression line is inserted in the plot. Of course, we have already drawn the scatter diagram, and it is quite natural to see what is the regression. So that is why I included this command. Once again, this is the regression line of y on x, and that is included in the scatter diagram like this. So we have got the regression line. This is the regression line of LMN on x or y on x. Okay, hope that it is clear. And then again we can modify. Here also up to here the same command. I hope that you can follow me, because I am each time I am making it more and more complicated. The scatter diagram, we have initially we have just a plot function. Then I added a title there. Then I added the x-axis and y-axis labels. Then I give some color to the plot character, and I specified the plot character, and then I added a regression line. And now I am going to modify that regression line. So as the argument of this appline function, I write two arguments, two things, LWD equals 2 and LGY equals to 3. What does this mean? LWD simply means line width. Line width. Usually an integer is used to denote line width. Line width equal to 1 is a possible number. Line width can be 2, can be 3, can be 4, etc. Every time you increase the number associated with this one, the line will become more and more thicker. So line width equal to, if you put line width equal to 2 here, that will be double thicker when you use LWD equal to 1. So you can increase the thickness of the line by changing this number. And okay, and this is LTY means line type. There are so many types of lines you can draw. A simple line, a dotted line, a dashed line, etc. These can be specified by this command, LTY, line type. Line type equal to 1 gives a single line. Then line type equal to 3 gives a dashed line. You can see here. So here we have a dashed line instead of the earlier simple line, plain line. We have got a dashed line, and it has got some more thickness. And verify, please keep this thickness in mind. And here there is more thick. This line, the new line is more thicker than the previous line. Then, okay, I hope these things are all clear. Annotating a float function. This is how, what I have explained is how to annotate a float function. So, simply first initialize a plot, then annotate. It's a very interesting thing, quite interesting. And there, we have talked about regression. This is the regression line. Lm of y tilde x gives the regression line of y on x that I have already explained. Lm stands for linear model. Linear model. So we are fitting a regression line of y on x, and I am giving the name fit to it. And in order to reproduce, you have to print it. I again type fit. Okay, then you get the regression coefficients. This is the regression details. If you are going to fit a line y equal to ax plus b, this is the slope, that means a coming with x, and this is the y-intercept, b. You are going to fit y equal to x plus b. The regression line y equal to x plus b. Here it is a and here b. So the line is 0.3532x plus 17.2669. This is the regression line. We are fitting with these values of x and y. Okay. Simply, very simple. Just write the command lm for linear model and y tilde x. This will be the regression line of y on x. The dependent variable comes here and the independent variable comes here. Always remember that the dependent variable is the first thing, first argument, and the independent variable is the second argument, second thing comes here. So this tilde. This tilde is denoted to is used to denote the regression of y on x. And I have seen many students complaining that they are not getting any data. Fortunately, R has plenty of data sets in it. If you type library data set, that means some data sets are called You can call some datasets by the command library datasets. There are many datasets in R. One of them is you can search using one of these is a dataset, namely air quality. That was the dataset corresponding to a study conducted in New York City. Some ozone level, some pollution values, etc. They have measured, and that values are incorporated in a dataset, namely air quality. So I can call that air quality data using this command. When you type library datasets and air quality, you will get that data. I am going to get that data, air quality. Now when I click enter, what happens is you will get the entire data set. You will get the entire data set stored in R repository. So this is the data set. There are some variables. There are some variables. The variable names are written here. First one is ozone. The second one is solar.r. The third variable is wind. The fourth one is temp, then month and day. There are 5 variables, 5 data objects, and so many cases are there, so many observations are there. If you get frightened with this huge size of data, you can simply view some of the most important, some of the most relevant points of the data set. That means how the data set appears can be obtained. How the data set appears, what all is said in the data set. That is obtained by a simple command. You don't need to see the entire data, but you just see a sample of the data. You just want to see what are the variables and what the observations look like. If you want such a thing, you can call some of the values, some of the initial values of the data set, and that can be obtained using the command head air quality. Head air quality use what details they will give, command will give the first few values of the data set. First few values on each variable of the data set. Similarly, you can use another command, tail air quality, tail air quality, in order to see some last values of the data set. So head and tail are 2 functions which can be used to see some first values and some last values of the data set. So what happens here? If you type that command, if you execute that command, you will get 6 values each on the variables. The get command can be made use of. Now, I want to know the dimension of the data set. That can be achieved by using this command, dim, DIM. DIM air quality means dimension of the data set air quality. Dimension means how many rows are there and how many columns are there. There are 153 rows and 6 columns. Earlier, we see that there are 6 variables, each variable representing a column, so that there are 6 columns. And each variable has been observed 153 times. That's why we have got 153 rows. So 153 observations on each variable. That is what this output says. We have a data set of dimension 153 by 6, 153 rows and 6 columns. This is the number of variables and this is the number of cases, number of observations. Now, if you have a data set, you can again call the plot function or something like that. With that data set, you can try some R commands. So that can be done using the width function. Already there is a data set in the R library, air quality, and with air quality data, plot this diagram, plot a scatter diagram. So width means, width command, the width function calls the data air quality, and using that air quality you can scatter, you can plot a, you can make a scatter, you can draw a scatter plot. If you want a regression there, you can instead of this plot command, you can write a regression command lm or wind on also, etc. Wind tilde also, lm wind tilde also. You will get a regression line using this data set air quality, that is achieved with achieved using the width function. So this is an important function, width function. This is the data set. So this is a scatter diagram. And of course, I have added a command using the main function, using the term main, and that is using the with function. I am explaining what is the use of with function. We have got the title here, and now the next one. The next one is, we have a data set there. Air quality is a data set there, and I want a subset of that data set. I don't want the entire data set, but I just want a subset. This is very interesting. This can be achieved by using the command subset. Subset is the name, the function name, and what subset we want? We want the subset of the data set air quality corresponding to month equals 5. Month equals 5. Month double equals sign we have to write here. Month equals 5. So whenever month equal to 5, that air quality is taken. This data set has got several values for month. Month can be 5, month can be 6, month can be 9, etc. So among all this, from all these values, from all those values, it will take only the values corresponding to month equal to 5. Only and with that subset of the data, plot this scatter plot. Draw this scatter plot. This is what is achieved here. So we just use only a subset, and with that subset, we are drawing a scatter diagram. I have specified the color equal to green. That is why it appears like this green color. In this green color, this is a scatter diagram corresponding to the month value 5. Only some points are taken there, and then quite interesting feature. If you have many plots, if you want to draw many plots, that can be specified in a symbol. That can be arranged as you like. That means if you want a plot side by side, along by the side of a plot, you want another one, or you want 3 plots in a row, you want 4 plots in a row. That all can be achieved using this par command, par function. This par function, especially this especially the argument comes here, mf row equals c12. This is the function used to arrange the plots. Mf row equal to c12 means, c function you have already seen. Mf row equals c12 means the number of rows should be 1 and number of columns should be 2. So if you have 2 plots, to be plotted, that will be plotted in a single row and in 2 columns. So you will get a plot by the side of another one. If you want 4 plots in a row, you can simply change this number to 4. That means in a single row you will get 4 plots. by just changing the number to 4. And if you want 4 floats, 2 in the first row and 2 in the second row, just change this to C22. That means there should be 2 rows and 2 columns. C22 means there should be 2 rows and 2 columns. Then you will get the 4 floats in 2 rows. The first row will contain 2 floats and the second row will contain 2 floats. Let's succeed here. You can see an example. I have drawn here 2 floats. The first one is a scatter plot showing wind and ozone, and the second one is a scatter plot showing solar, rotor, and ozone. Both these plots are taken from the dataset air quality. That's why I am using the command, using the function with. So this part mfrow equal to C12 set up a platform there, sets up a canvas there in which the plots are to be arranged in a manner you like. That is initialized there. That is already there. Now, after this command, after this path mfrow equal to C12 command, if I execute these 2 commands, I will get 2 plots, because there are 2 plot commands here. I will get 2 plots side by side. See? The first plot is here, second plot is here, come side by side. Okay. The first one is wind and ozone, the second one is solar and ozone. And what I have told is summarized here. PCH, that is the plotting symbol. LTY, the line type, by default it is a solid line, plain line. And line width, LWD, it is specified as an integer multiple. LWD can be 1, LWD can be 2, can be 3, etc. And COL means color of the plotting character. Can be red, blue, green, many colors are there, around 255 colors. Then X lab, label of the x-axis, Y lab, label of the y-axis. So these are some important base graphics parameters. So this is what all I want to say as an initial, as an introduction to R, to just make you some friendly with R. Okay. Hope that you can follow. If you have any doubt, you feel free to ask me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable session. So, dear participants, we are coming up to our end of service section. So, I kindly invite Ms. Jency Stanley from Department of Statistics, Chrysler College, Maryland.
Dear participants, you can ask any queries or doubt, or you can put on chat box. Dear participants, you can ask any queries or doubt to Srijit sir, or you can put questions on chat box. Okay.
Thank you, Anjata. Thank you all.
Sir, can we wind up the program?
No, of course.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Srijit sir, who took so much time to share his knowledge with us. And also, he has been a constant support of our department from the past 2 years. Then I would like to thank the director, Reverend Dr. Father Tetuvavi CMI, Principal Dr. Julie Jacob teacher, and our beloved HOD Dr. Benny George, who has been the constant support and inspiration to conduct this webinar. And my colleague Ramya stood together to successfully conduct the webinar. A very special thanks to her. Next, I would like to thank a very big thank to Mr. Rajesh Kumar sir from Department of Mathematics and Alan sir from Department of Physics, who was there with us throughout by giving all the technical support. And a special mention to Shalom sir, Lakshmi teacher from BCA, and our non-teaching staff, Satish. Finally, thank you all the non-teaching staff and teaching staff who support us continuously to complete the webinar. And you know, the participants are the cream of this webinar. So thank you all the participants from all over India, as well as students from our college. Our program successfully got blessings. Thank you so much.
Participants, please stay for a few minutes because you will get feedback from in your chat box. So please stay for 2 minutes, and after that you can leave the Zoom meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Thank you very much, sir, Sweet sir, for your
Thank you.
valuable session.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So please, participants, please stay tuned in your Zoom meeting for a few minutes. You will get feedback form in your chat box. Please fill that feedback form and submit, and you will get e-certificate within 1 week after successful submission of your feedback. Thank you, everybody.
Respected Professor,
Yes, is anybody?
please share the PPT in the WhatsApp group, sir. It will be useful for us
Is there
for
any WhatsApp
PowerPoint
group?
presentation.
I'm sharing my WhatsApp.
Kind request for resource person.
Okay, I have no objection in sharing this PPT, but we have no common WhatsApp group. The organizers arrange something, I will share it. I will mail all this presentation to the college. You can get from there.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Nice lecturer.
Okay, thank you. So shall I exit?
మీ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ లెటర్
Thank you.
Participants, I have shared the feedback form in your chat box. Please collect the feedback form and copy paste it somewhere in your laptop or somewhere else. You can fill that feedback form and submit it. Thank you, everybody. You will get the same feedback form in WhatsApp group as well as in your email. Thank you, everybody.